How does it feel to have this around your neck and with this particular Olympic Games, with this particular road to Milan-Cortina? What did it feel like to see that time, to see those scores, and know that you were the gold medalist?
It's pretty crazy. You know, that so much of, you've heard all the athletes talk about it, right? It's like so much of your life is dedicated to performing on race day. And obviously the Olympics is a bit of a different experience. And I've been through 4, and I've learned so much from each one. They've all been wildly different experiences.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think I showed up on race day with just so much focus on the mentality and like how I wanted to feel in my skiing, and being able to execute that required actually like letting go of this. And
is that right?
Yeah, it's entirely, and I feel like we've heard a lot of the athletes talk about this kind of mentality.
Alyssa Liu just said it.
Particularly these games. I've heard her talk about this a little bit, but it's like doing what you do requires completely letting go of whatever is going to happen after, which is tough. It's really tough around an Olympics where everybody's talking about what's supposed to happen after.
Yeah, and also talking about who's the favorite to win gold and what a gold medal is, and not really mentioning any of the other medals or the fact that that athletes have made it to this point, to this race.
I mean, every single athlete getting in their arena, whatever their kind of arena is, every single athlete is so spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a journey and there's a story, whether you're, you know, the true medal contender or a favorite or not. You know, there's stories from in ski racing we say like the exotic nations that you don't normally see in ski races in the World Cup, and it's like there's journeys that everybody has been through, and it's really such a beautiful show of like cooperation and competition, and there's just so much going on, and I feel like that gets celebrated, but sometimes I feel like not enough.
Agreed.
You know?
Yes, absolutely. I do know.
And this is like this is not the destiny. This is like the gift for showing up and having the chance to do what you know how to do.
I like where your head is at.
Thanks.
I like where your head is at. And I know that it has taken a considerable amount of work to get to that headspace.
Yes,
And
so much work.
And I can imagine that even coming into the games with that, there are things that rock you in the games.
Yeah.
Lindsey Vonn, I can imagine, as close as you are, that was like a what? Yeah. Have you been in touch? Have you been able to talk to her? Have you heard what's happening with her recovery now?
We've had some exchanges. You know, the fact that she has been able to get back to the U.S. is huge.
Huge.
That's really, really big. And it seems like there's a long road ahead of her.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, it's a double-edged sword to show up and put your heart on the line, because there's criticism and there's you know, a lot of people who are going to cheer for you in that moment as well and thereafter. But I feel like what we saw this entire Olympics, we saw so many athletes show up and like actually really go into it with a full heart.
Yeah.
And we have some more competitions left, and we're going to continue to see that. But I think Lindsey, what you saw from her Olympic experience this time around was what she's always done, was be true to her values and herself and push. Like to go for it.
Yep.
I felt like that was, you know, it was tough to balance on a day where we're celebrating Breezy and her incredible Olympic champion, incredible accomplishment. And we're, you know, as a team, we're kind of going through this, you know, mourning for the other side of the coin. And you got to see both sides of the beauty and the darkness of this experience and what ski racing provides, because there's no glory without risk. But if you take that risk at some point, you're going to see the other side of it. So it was a unique way to arrive. I think that was my second day in Cortina and kind of seeing all this go down and being like,
okay.
Oh boy.
So just gonna focus.
We're not only we're like here. We're not only here. We're actually here.
Right.
We're fully in it.
This is where we're at.
We're fully in it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say this because I feel like this feels like such a different conversation. This feels like such a different Mikaela than I have talked to in years past.
Really?
Yeah, like you've always been a beautiful energy, an incredible competitor, but there seems to be a kind of peace and clarity that you are standing in and on. And like I'm emotional just thinking about
Thanks.
the things that you have had to, I don't want to say overcome because that's not the right
Move
word.
through.
But yeah, like bring with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Bring with you.
Yeah.
Much of which I can relate to.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious though if, and I don't want this to feel like a tell me girl, but like I know that I have moments in my life where I know my father shows up.
Yeah.
Like I call them winks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder if you had, in these games, if you had those moments where you were like, all right, bruh, I know you're with me.
Oh, I love that. I think I don't have as much of the experience of like, or maybe I wish I had more of these like sort of obvious signs or winks.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great way to put it. And I think mine is, it's a little bit more sometimes, I don't know what the word is, like dysmorphic or something. It's like something that's a little bit more blurry. And it hasn't been so clear for me to feel my dad and to feel his presence. And this game's really in the slalom race, before the second run, I did have this kind of period of time in the waiting process that is usually pretty excruciating. And I was like, just let your mind go anywhere. Just let it go. You don't have to be focused right now. Let it go. And I was listening to some music, and
What were you listening to?
I have this pump up playlist, and I had the theme song from Formula One movie, the Lose My Mind.
Yeah.
I had that on. That's been like my anthem for the season.
I love it.
Yeah, that's been a big one. Yeah.
Well, they do go fast in Formula One. So
they do. They
makes
do.
sense.
But particularly Doja Cat's rap was just like, okay.
You were like, and we're there.
Yeah, that's like the mic drop rap. I just,
Locked in.
yeah. So I was listening to that, but then I was also like, it got me thinking about life and the possibilities, and I was trying not to get ahead of myself because obviously this is not locked in. But I was thinking about my dad and like if the potential for this moment, if it actually happened, how I could honor him in that moment. That's been a conversation I've had a lot over the summer with my mom, with my family, with my psychologist, also with my team, to sort of admit to the fact that winning an Olympic gold medal is also a little bit scary. And there's a side of me that didn't want that because
The stuff that comes with it.
yeah, what comes with it. And there's a feeling of guilt because he's not here to see it. And there's just, there's a lot. It's loaded in a different way than it's ever been before.
Yeah.
And coming to terms with that, I don't know if I'm I don't think I have come to terms with it, but you just kind of dive in because at some point you decide what's important to you and what you want to do. And I was like, maybe the medal's not going to happen, but I still want to do this skiing.
Right.
And I know he would be an advocate for that. And, my mom's here and she's helping me. She's still coaching me, like she's helping me get through this moment, and all of these people, the whole team, everybody's worked for this. And I think one of the key things that helped me in this journey was months and months ago having a really deep group discussion with my coaches, staff, physical therapists, my ski technicians, and like having almost like a psychology conversation all together.
Really?
And talking to them. I did this thing, my psychologist had me like sort of desensitized to the Olympics and write down basically Olympics and then anything that came to mind around that. And one of the things that came to mind was like, I don't want to live in a world where I can be an Olympic medalist and my dad's not here to celebrate it. And that was like, that's something that came out that I didn't really know was in my head, not entirely.
Right.
And I got to talk to my mom about that, and I got to talk to my team about that. And, every single thing, every fear that I had and every question that I had in my mind on race day when I was standing in the start, they knew about and they understood and they acknowledged. And we still showed up and said, like, this is the mentality we're deciding to take together.
And you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
So that whatever you're thinking about, wherever you are, whatever you're processing, you've let people in on that process.
Yeah.
You let people in on those details enough that you don't have to also sit there like no one else is going to understand this.
Yeah.
Your
And
team
sometimes
is.
when we feel like super isolated and alone, it's partially because we're not helping people to understand what's going on.
Right.
It's like one of the things I've grappled with in my career is people don't get me, they don't understand me, I have to over-explain myself, I don't feel acknowledged, and sometimes that's also because you haven't told anyone what's happening. You know,
Right.
like they can't read your mind.
can't read
My
your
mom
mind.
says this all the time. She's like, I don't have ESP. Like, I can't read your mind.
Yeah.
You gotta let me in on this.
But like you writing stuff down and sharing that is like those are huge breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing that because it's just like I think it's encouraging and reassuring to a lot of people, regardless of whether they are Olympic gold medal skiers or teachers or brothers or sisters or moms or dads or whatever, that they can relate to that. Before I let you go, you know, we got to talk about one detail because I heard you put it off until after the games.
Oh, the espresso martini. Oh, no, not that.
I like where your head went
So sorry.
immediately to the espresso martini.
Sorry.
Kinda.
I don't know what I put. What did I put off?
The official after party celebration of your Olympic gold medal, the wedding.
Oh!
The wedding.
Oh my
You say,
God.
oh snap! I was just trying to get an espresso martini. You say, oh fuck! I
What
wanted
time
an
is
espresso
it?
martini.
Is it time yet? It's almost
Right?
time.
Would
5 o'clock somewhere.
Is there I'm not gonna ask you details about a date or anything like that, but like is there a theme, big, small, like give me an idea of like
General concept.
general concept.
We have literally none. No general concept. No concept. We've
don't-
talked about
don't-
like
don't.
big, like big.
Like big?
Like
Like Bruno Mars performing
like
big?
rent a castle in Italy big.
So yes, okay.
And then we've also talked about like teeny. We've also talked about like
Eloping?
We haven't really talked about that.
Love that.
I feel that family needs to be there.
Yep.
But I think we've
Mom's
talked about like doing something small in Norway and then doing something small somewhere in the US. But when I say talked about, it's been like, hey, would you be open to that? And it's like, yeah, love it.
Moving on.
I think the only thing we've decided on is that wherever it is, that we don't really want people to have to drive.
Okay.
Sort of. So it's like if it's small, then people can kind of be there.
Right.
And if
everyone's together.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You got some details.
Do I?
Yeah. Close.
You know what? One of my teammates, Paula, suggested getting like a vintage pair of skis and having that as a guest book for people to sign and like having that as something up on a wall.
Oh, that's
like a
great.
decoration for life. Yeah. That was a really good idea.
Instead of the book.
Instead of the book, or maybe in addition to, but probably instead of.
Right.
That was a really cool idea. But I feel like I'm sort of in the weeds and we need to like see the forest for the trees. Like there's some other details to figure out.
And also take
At
your
least
time.
I know what the guest book's gonna look like.
Hello. Take your time and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Get you an
Thank you.
espresso martini,
Thank
girl.